All right, welcome everyone. My name is Jamie Copes. I'm a manager of digital literacy and tutor training for Wisconsin Literacy. This is a monthly series that I run called Digital Tools for Teaching. So the topic changes every month, and I just try to put a new digital tool or resource into your toolbox and on your radar. This month it is World Relief's Digital Literacy Skills Curriculum. So let's jump right in. World Relief Digital Literacy Skills Curriculum. It is linked on Wisconsin Literacy's website, and I can show you how to find that later, but I'll also share the link with you. Just some features. One of the main criteria for this series that I run is that a tool has to be free or have some version of free. So this digital skills curriculum is free to all users, but you do have to register with an email and a password. Once you register, you're taken to what they're calling a course. Excuse me, I'm just admitting one more person. And this course, the terminology could be a little bit confusing, but the course is really for you or a tutor or an instructor to learn about how to teach the digital skills. So it gives you all of the materials, it sort of walks you through how to use the curriculum, but it's not a learner-facing course. And when you access the course, you must complete the very first module called How to Use This Course before you can access the materials. So that's why I'm going to spend kind of a lot of time today showing you some of those materials in case you don't have time to do this module, How to Use the Course, right away. One of, I think, the great advantages to this digital literacy skills curriculum is that it offers lessons at 4 different levels. So we have lessons for emerging literacy or emerging reader learners, beginning, low intermediate, and high intermediate and advanced English language learners. A little bit more about the features. World Relief itself says that it's designed for volunteers working with refugees and immigrants. You can use it with a class, a small group, or in one-on-one settings, and it can be used in person or virtually. They don't recommend, I'm sorry, that you go from top to bottom and do every course in order. They really encourage you to pick and choose lessons that work with your learners or with your clients. And then another advantage I see to this curriculum as opposed to like a North Star or any other digital skills lessons that you're using is that some of these lessons are translated. So these are the languages that they offer you. There's Arabic, Burmese, French, Kinyarwanda, Russian, and Spanish. Another resource that you'll find once you get into this course is that they offer digital skills inventories. So these are a pre-assessment that you can give a client or a student to see what they already know. Those again are available in these languages. Dari is added here, but it wasn't on my list back here. So I'll make sure that to correct that if needed. It does assume that learners are able to read in these languages. So that is something you have to take into consideration. I'm going to show you the English digital skills inventory. All right, so you can see it is a written inventory, a checklist, but it could also be something where you sit side by side with a learner and ask the question and they say yes or no to you. So we have just a list of skills with I can statements or I know statements. I always think it's a little bit hard to make these skills inventories work exactly for your program or what you want to do. And so I'm noticing with this one that it's very Zoom based and it looks like it might be preparing a student for a virtual learning environment. So if these don't work exactly for you, I think they're a really nice jumping off point for you to create your own skills inventory. Each level, and when I say level, I mean the emerging literacy, the beginner, the advanced intermediate, each of those levels contains these three things. So each will have an introduction to explain which digital literacy skills are specific to that level. And then they contain 7 different lessons on a variety of digital skill topics. All of those topics fit a digital literacy framework that they present in a video in that first module. And then there's a skills checklist for each level to track a learner's progress through those topics. Before we look at what topics are available, I do want to just show you what happens when you use the link I'll share with you in a moment. So this is how you're greeted to the digital literacy skills curriculum. And you would go up to the sign in at the top right. And it's going to ask you to create an account or to sign in. I typically sign in with my Google account, my Gmail. And then I come to a dashboard, and I'm guessing when it says my courses that World Relief offers other courses. So if I joined those would also be here. But right now it's just the digital literacy skills curriculum. And when I click into that, on the left is the menu. I'll show it to you like this. So how to use this course is the one that is the prerequisite. So everybody needs to go through that before these other sections unlock. So how to use this course is the welcome to the curriculum. This is the video that I was mentioning. So there is a 3-minute video that explains their framework for digital literacy. And then those digital skills inventories that I mentioned, you can download them here in this module. So since you would have to go through that getting to know this course module before you can access the materials, I'm going to share this spreadsheet with you and give you a moment to look at it. I'll put it in the chat, and I'll also keep it up here on the screen. World Relief created this spreadsheet, and so it's just a summary of all of the topics that this curriculum offers by level. But if you see a topic or a skill that you're like, I'd like to see the materials for that, go ahead and put your vote in the chat. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. So I'm seeing a vote for download an app on a phone, which is in the emergent literacy lesson topics. And then we have a job search on Indeed, which is low intermediate. And then we have a vote for data privacy and online tracking. So let's look at those 3. And that'll give us a really nice idea too of how the language and the expectations sort of progress through the level. The first one was downloading an app. So here I am in the curriculum, and I would go to emergent literacy. I would expand that. As you can see, we get an introduction, and then we have all of these topics. I do want to point out that after each topic in parentheses, we have like words like civic, collaborative, communicative. These correspond to the digital literacy framework that they'll explain in the video. So these are areas of the framework that these topics would fall under. We're looking at downloading an app.
And this will teach us how to teach students this, right? Not like for us teaching. It will be for us to know how to teach students.
Correct. And so students don't use this. You as an instructor or tutor would use this, and this is how you would get the materials to use with students.
Mm-hmm.
So downloading an app on your phone, and we have some objectives here, and then materials for downloading. So you can see that this particular lesson comes in French, Spanish, Russian, Kinyarwanda, Dari, which was not on my list before, so I will add it, Burmese, and Arabic. And then the English versions are at the top. So there's always a presentation, like slides, and then there's a lesson plan. So let's start with the presentation. And I think what I'll do is I'll grab this link for anybody that kind of wants to explore it at their own pace. And I'll share that in the chat. And then I'll also scroll through these slides. So it looks like it starts with teaching some vocabulary, visuals. And then a specific app, Uber, that helps you get a ride. One thing that I like particularly about this lesson is it does show you the different options. So if people have an Android phone versus an iPhone, they are looking for different apps and app stores. That's the end of the presentation. And then I'll show you the lesson plan that comes with it. I'll also put that in the chat. So I think the slides are great because you're going to show those to learners and they're, visual. I am a little, I don't know if anybody would agree with me, but I am a little bit surprised with the emergent literacy level that there's so much text on these slides. I see some, I see some nods. But so that's one thing to consider. But the lesson plans I think are really helpful as well because they're going to walk you through exactly how to present this information. So we have an explanation of what to do with that vocabulary warm-up slide and some time suggestions. Some scripting if you need it. And that's it. Okay, our second vote for a topic was job search on Indeed. I believe that was that low intermediate? There it is. Doing a job search on Indeed. Looks like this. This one, we do not have translated versions. So if anybody's interested in seeing the translated versions, remind me and I'll go back to the first lesson. So, and this is interesting. So there's a word wall activity vocabulary, and those are linked up here. Okay, so that's nice that there's some interactive like digital activities built right into this course, and those would be student facing. Here's the presentation for the job search. Again, I'll put that in the chat. And then that link to the word wall vocabulary activity that I just showed you, it's also linked in these slides. There's a QR code that learners could use to access that activity.
Jimmy, then would you please share these resources with us in an email?
Yes, I can.
Or we can
And then probably the best way for you to access these resources is to create your own account so that you can access this curriculum. This presentation ends with that exit ticket. And then again, there is the lesson plan. Oh, there's a worksheet as well. So we have a worksheet, an exit ticket, and the lesson plan. The last topic, I believe, was under high, intermediate, and advanced data privacy and online tracking. So for this one, we have that presentation, we have a worksheet, and then we have the lesson plan. I'll put a link to the presentation in the chat if you'd like to look at it at your own pace. It's nice that there's a video embedded. And a link to a reading activity. And then it ends with an exit ticket. All right, would anybody be curious to see the translated versions of that first lesson? We looked at downloading an app.
Can you show us the diary version?
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that they have different languages like translations. Are they like Google translated or by a translator?
I am guessing from just the little I know about World Relief, I think they've got a pretty good reputation nationwide, if not worldwide. And I am guessing that they have people on staff, native speakers of the languages that at least verified that they were correct.
Because in the diary version that I asked for, I
Yeah.
know diary, and there was like some of the words that are not like in English, it's something else in diary, and we call it like something different. If we Google
Oh.
translate it, it will be that the same. But for the
Mhm.
diary language itself, it is different than the Google translation. So that's why I asked.
Okay. And so the slides that I showed you looked like they were from Google Translate and not.
Yes. For
Okay.
example, one of the example is like with the iPhone and the Android, we use different apps. So they are like in English, we say like iPhone users must use this app and Android users must use this one. But in the diary version, it says like iPhone beneficiaries use this app and
Beneficiary.
yes, Android beneficiaries use this one. So the word
Oh,
that they
shoot.
were using is that in English.
Well,
That's why I was curious, like, is it translated by a Google?
So I guess my assumption is wrong, and then I appreciate that perspective. Thank you for sharing.
Hmm.
So you heard it here first, then. Something to consider if you're going to use the translated versions. They might not always make the most sense to your learners.
Uh-huh. Yes. Hmm.
And then I just want to mention briefly that next month, we will meet again for digital tools for teaching. Next month is a little bit more of a maker space, so you can come and make your own digital activity using Flippity Flippity is a free resource. You can create flashcards, games, manipulative activities. One of the trickiest parts, I think, or digital skills involved in using Flippity is adding images. So I'm going to focus specifically on how to add images to your Flippity activity, and that will be next month.